Welcome back. Breakfast Central continues with the front pages of the newspapers. You can be part of the analysis by simply calling the phone line on the screen. And let us know what your thoughts are concerning the stories that we're about to bring to you. So without further ado, we'll go straight to our very first story. And our very first story, we'll be looking at the very first paper this morning. Let's start off first with the Nigerian Tribune. That should be our first paper this morning. The Nigerian Tribune has there on the front cover, front page there, Tinubu declares nationwide security emergency. He declares nationwide security emergency, and we'll take a look at some of the very interesting analysis there as well. Also, Senate in intense debate over rising insecurity. Myself and Binga had looked into that a while ago, looking at it carefully concerning what it entails. We'll also look at many more stories on the front page there that you can also be part of. Our analyst is in the house. We'll be introducing him in a moment. But let's further bring the updates on that story. Tinubu declares nationwide security emergency, orders armed forces police to recruit more personnel, calls on NAS to review laws that will allow states requiring state police to establish them, and police to use NYSC camps as training depot. Federal government to support state governments who set up security outfits, DSS to deploy forest guards to flush out terrorists, mosque, churches in vulnerable areas should seek security protection when they gather. At last, Tinubu begins appointment of ambassadors as well. That's another big story, but let's not waste any more time. Let's go straight to Southern governors, traditional rulers meets, discuss security of region. We do have with us the Chief Coordinating Officer, the COO, Sustainable Stories Africa. Mr. Uade Ahimie joins us live in the studio. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning, Joe.
Thank you so much.
And it's always great to be here.
All right. I'm going to start off with, I'd like you to jump in on this particular story. At last, Tinubu begins appointment of ambassadors. 3 mentioned. When we saw ambassadors, we think it was going to be a big, long list, but good enough. We had Ambassador Joe Keshi speak to us on certain constraints and reasons. But what's your thought?
Ambassadors to the United Kingdom, United States,
and the UK.
France.
So
UK, France, and US.
And the good thing was that I was listening to Ambassador Joe Keshi.
Oh, nice.
When he was explaining all the intricacies of...
and the lobby and all.
Well, let's leave the lobbying. The intricacies of international relations. And he made it clear we should have had ambassadors from the very first day. Even if you were not going to, when you knew you were not going to appoint them immediately, what you should have done is you should have kept the ambassadors that were there. Because there are some doors that will never open for you in international diplomacy if you don't have those ambassadors. And those are the things that Ambassador Joe Keshi explained in details. Well, it's a start. 3, you said USA, UK, and France.
France.
Yes.
Our biggest partners where you think about it.
And there's China too.
Well, I was going to say that.
And none to the African Union. Don't they say charity starts at home?
None to the United Nations also. Charity starts at home. But also charity starts also from those who give you the most money. And the most monies that we've seen when I look at the data in terms of investment, in terms of things that are coming in aside from China, is USA, UK.
And Thomas Sankara once said, he who feeds you controls you.
Oh yeah. So it's the same thing, Benga. If you don't put the money down in your house, then you can't control anybody. And that's the reality. So it's a good start. And the good thing about it is that those who have been nominated are career diplomats, those who understand those terrains. It's not political associates, you know. And I think that's where, in my own opinion, I think that's where the president has been, what he has been trying to, to put his head round. Do I play politics with this, or do I make sure that Nigeria is continually being seen as a major international figure from an African perspective? And I think the decision of the 3 people who he has nominated, and I do believe that the National Assembly would ratify their nominations, are people who are seasoned in managing international diplomacy, especially when it comes to the issues today.
I mean, Ambassador
we've seen
Keshi
in
gave
terms
them
of
pass
security.
mark.
No, especially in terms of security. So we're speaking to America about, okay, they want to put boots on ground. So who better to be discussing those things and those who understand international diplomacy and how
hence
how
their
those things
security
and
background.
how those things can come in, and even speak to security experts from across. And believe me, aside from China, these are the three major security countries in the world, aside from China and maybe Germany. So
There's Russia as well.
let's leave Russia. Let's not go back to the Cold War. During the ages of the Cold War, yes, extremely
So you
important.
prefer we align with the
No,
West,
I prefer.
or align with the person that has our best interest?
I don't know about the person who has our best interest. The person who has our best interest is Nigeria. My take is I prefer we align with those who collaborate on international security issues to a large extent across the globe. So it's not just Russia or China. Do you understand? Because they have.
We should get all the
fantastic-
help we can from everywhere.
And so you
can.
start with those who will first and foremost provide you international security updates, who have it on a day-to-day basis. Those who would share with you.
Like the United States,
And
if
the
they
UK.
are willing to share.
But they will be willing to share if they have interests. There are so many American companies, so many British companies, so many French companies in Nigeria. Now, coming to the Chinese and the Chinese also, because they have now a very strong hold in the African market. I don't know about Russia. Maybe 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Yes.
There's BRICS. So Russia's looking through BRICS. There's also the case of India. India is also strong in Nigeria.
Yeah, but like I said, you first start with, what do you call them? The devil that you know.
Low-hanging fruit.
Exactly, low-hanging fruits. And then you move to the other, because those are, aside from international diplomacy and security, there's also a lot of business elements to it. And we're doing a lot with India. We're doing a lot with China. So those are the next places, in my own opinion, that the president should be looking to and saying, let's have those ambassadors in those places so they can start speaking our minds.
Let's look at the big story on the Tribune. Tinubu
Yeah.
declares nationwide security emergency, not a
Biggest.
state of emergency, a security emergency, the type, not the type we saw in Rivers with Fubara. Let's take the rider one by one. Analysis. Orders armed forces police to recruit more personnel. Let's start with that. It's looking like a game of numbers. So when this new personnel come in, how long typically can you train a fighting man to be disciplined? How soon can you convert a bloody civilian into a fighting machine, a
Because last time
E
I
professional
checked,
fighting machine?
Uade is COO of Sustainable Stories.
I mean, it doesn't. You're not going to box into that. No, but just looking at the pragmatism
Well,
of this, and will these new recruits be deployed to the front lines, or they'll act as a buffer? These are some of the.
Okay, so let me start with
Yeah.
your question. How long does it take? I have no clue, but in terms of war, it's shorter than when you
No,
go.
typically it's
Yeah.
six months for Nigerian police.
Well, standard training procedures, maybe
Yeah.
6 to 8 months. During war times, it's much shorter. What do they teach you? How to fight,
Weapons handling.
weapons handling, how to maneuver, and so on. So it's usually shorter, and that's one. When you now go to the larger picture about security and its architecture, what continually beats me is how we sweep out years or decades of security knowledge each time we make changes to the hierarchy of our security.
Why do
system.
you say that?
Okay, so let me give you a good example. If today the president decides that he wants to change his security team again, and he brings a younger officer, it means that everybody who is their senior automatically they retired. And it's happened twice in 2 years. And that's why you find out that, especially in the military, we've decimated it so much that a lot of knowledge has been taken out. And they're just sitting like...
I mean, they can always act as consultants. It's not like we can't seek for their help or expertise.
Why, and let me ask you this question. So they can act as consultants for a fee, which is true. But it costs us so much money when you do that. It costs us less money when you leave them in the system to continually... So now you want to recruit more people. Who are the people who are going to train all these people? And they are going to come in as consultants and pay them so much money. Do you understand? So these are things that we need to understand. You don't just take a whole class, maybe 40, 50 people. Are you with me? Because one person is going. Then you drag them all the way. All of them in different spheres of security architecture and knowledge that goes with them.
But what if they've reached their 35 years
let's take
of
this
service?
call.
But Emmanuel from Abuja.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello, good morning, Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, are you there? Hello?
Go ahead and speak with us, please.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, I want to contribute regarding the security, what is it called, the employment of more Nigerian, engagement of more Nigerians in the security sector. You see, the problem we have is that we have analog leaders. There is no way, we don't need more security. What it means is more technology, more personnel, it's more technology, for crying out loud. How many people were able to dislodge Boko Haram during Jonathan's regime? They sat in Borno, in Maiduguri City, and used whatever technology to locate where the Boko Harams are. And they just sent one jet to that point and just finish them. They wipe out this thing before our general election in 2015. Then leaders should stop deceiving the people. They don't want to do it. Insecurity has become a business for so many persons. And that is why we are having, if not, in the west of, what is it called? T.Y. Danjuma, a respected Nigerian. He said the military has compromised. My brother, I will tell you for free that we don't need to engage any Nigerian to join the military. All we need is those military personnel that are genuine, that we have investigated to see that they are not, connected or sympathizing with Boko Haram and the bandits. Then train them. We'll sit in Abuja here, locate where those people are, and we'll cast them out. So the leaders should stop deceiving us to go and employ people. That is the truth. We need, and that's why I want to plead, that the president should forget that story. It's a story as far as Nigerians are concerned. Technology will solve that problem. Within a month, Jonathan did it. If it means to go and engage machinery, go and engage them, and let our people have peace. People cannot go to farm, people cannot go to school, people cannot go to work. What are we talking? They are lying. And they should remember God and fear God. First thing, our leaders should fear God. They don't fear God. That is their business. Otherwise, security is not an issue. Within 2 weeks, Jonathan cleared Boko Haram with machinery. Our military has the capacity to check those people that have infiltrated and those that have sympathy for Boko Haram and forge them out. And also the sponsors of Boko Haram.
Thank you for your time. Thank you, because of our time, so we could actually analyze. I probably just have roughly 40 seconds, or 60 seconds rather.
The beauty of, when we talk about technology, and technology is fantastic, it's an enabler. I always try to remind myself, the knowledge of every technology comes from man. You understand? It's an enabler. So even if you don't have the people who would develop you in those technologies, who would develop the upcoming in that technology, technology for the sake of technology is zero.
You still need
someone to operate it.
That's my point. So when you take
even
away,
the fighter jets, you need to train pilots.
When you take away knowledge of 25, 30 years experience from whether it's recruit or from coming out of NDA, and you sweep like 100 people out, in a space of 2 years. That's a huge gap in any industry. And then can 100 of them be
replaced overnight?
Consultants? Can you pay 100? But you can pay the salaries of, if you take away 10, you can pay the salaries of 90 who are within that system, who will be dedicated to that system, who will continue to improve that system.
Okay, let's look at more stories this time. Let's go to Daily Independent. I'd like us to go to Daily Independent if we have that up. There it is. Rising costs, multinational dominance threaten Nigeria's hatcheries. Boko Haram members found on army, police enlistment lists. This was a kind of worm that was opened yesterday by a rep where he said they found names of Boko Haram members on army and police enlistment lists. Okay? But let's take this call. I'd like us to look at that insecurity case, and tie it with what we've seen the governors doing now. We have a caller. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, good morning, Paul from Delta State.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
Well, very well, thank you. Go ahead and make your contribution,
I
please.
want to quickly comment on two issues. One is the appointment, the nomination for the mini ambassadors, the three names. You cannot tell me that out of three in a nation like Nigeria, two must come from Southwest. The man is not, we're still where we are. And you press people. I don't know, the gentleman there is applauding the appointment of those three people. There are three basic things that disunite us in this country. They put two from Southwest, or you and Ogun. Doesn't make sense. You can get qualified ambassadors from every zone in this country. Okay, I leave that aside because it looks like it's the tradition of this government. Now, coming to the issue of employing 1 million people and 1 million all that. When there is employment opportunities in the central bank and elsewhere, NMPC, they don't come out like that to tell people. But now you need police and you that. And the point is that it's not the number of armed forces that is the problem. Yesterday at the plenary, in the Senate plenary, a senator from Kebbi State said, we know where the bandits are. We know them. Now, what is holding us from going to free them out? That is one. Two, the governor lamented of Kebbi State, said, who gave the order to withdraw those military? These are unanswered questions, and we are pretending. Please, the press, News Central, you are doing wonderfully well. But you need to go further. These are issues, query these issues. Query it repeatedly. That is why they sell in Ghana. If there's a problem today in Ghana, they keep repeating it, even if government, but Nigerian system is what happens today, you talk about it today, tomorrow, people forget it. Query that issue. Who ordered those people out, the military out? Nobody's talking about that, and you think we are serious. Because we are not serious in fighting insurgents, because we are part and parcel of it. Thank you, and have a nice day.
Thank you, Paul. Paul is not too happy.
And it
I want you to react
it brings us to that question you asked about names of alleged, because we don't know. Let's not be, and if they are specific, then let everybody say it. But they say they are Boko Haram
List
on members in.
That's the rep.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
And that's what the rep says. And it brings me to, and I would start from where the other caller said about Jonathan fighting it in 2 weeks. It took Jonathan to get towards an election for him to decide to do a massive fight. Politics. 6 weeks, that insurgency went down so that they could run elections in those 3 states. Let's not forget that, because it was 4 years. That's one. And then when he talks about the ambassadors or Southwest, Southeast, South, North,
of 3
and the
names.
question, and I will bring it back to where I always start from. Are they not Nigerians? 1. Are they not qualified? 2. They've nominated 3 ambassadors for over how many countries in the world? Let's always not play tribal sentiments or regional sentiments.
Just to speak with him, we've seen a pattern.
But there's a pattern.
And that's why.
Let's go on a break. You know what? Let's go on a break. We have a break to. We need to pay the bills. Uade. It's December.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Very critical.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching Breakfast Central. Feel free to call us and join the conversation. Thanks to our callers so far, so good. We do have the COO Sustainable Stories Africa, Uade Ahimie, here with us live in the studio. Let's go straight to the conversation.
I was going to land on a point.
Yes, you're going to land on a point.
So I spoke about the ambassadors. Yes. Are you with me? First and foremost, like I said, are they Nigerians? One. Are they qualified? Yes. And while offer, one of us brought up the issue that, we had a case, and the other person says, he wasn't convicted.
And then the callers too as well.
And then the callers explained. And I understand optics, because optics is good for managing egos and personalities. Do you understand?
However, egos and personalities?
Only? Yes.
Or the feelings of the general feelings of the people.
The perceptions.
Yeah.
I forgot that one. The perceptions of what? But like I always say, when we continue to push these angles of tribe, religion, it breaks us even more. Rather than let's see how we can say, these are the people that are there. Are they doing what they're supposed to do? If they don't do it, we'll let them take them out.
I respect and understand your point.
And that's my point.
But when you see the heads of agencies and parastatals,
maybe Uade has not seen that particular. I don't think you've seen the list.
A particular region of the country.
For the last 10 years,
what message does that send? Is it that there are no competent people in other regions?
And that's not true. For the last 10 years, are you with me? This has been the tradition.
So you have a president from a region.
Yes, aside from,
but it doesn't make it right.
And I commend the party that was in power for about 16 years. It showed a better reflection of Nigeria,
especially President Obasanjo. Yes,
exactly. But the fact remains this, and I continue to insist on that, and that's my opinion. So let nobody think that I'm insisting, because first and foremost, I must be Nigerian. Now, off air, we were talking about Wazobia. And I was trying to break down some things, and it's good that he said, let's talk about it on air. So when everybody talks about Wazobia, let's talk even about the Wa. The Wa signifies that Southwest, every Yoruba man is a Wa. That's not true.
Even the Eguns.
I'm not even going to go into the different what's it called. But when you call Wa, every Yoruba man, meanwhile, if just Ogun State there, Ijebu Igbo and Ijebu what's it called, they are at loggerheads. So let's leave that. The Zo, everybody thinks that when you say Zo, is Hausa Fulani, but that's not true. There's Kanuri. There's so many other tribes.
I don't think that's what Wazobia stands for.
Wait now, let me finish. And then, the Bia. My Igbo people, please correct. Because when we say these things, we reflect it like it's just 3 major tribes. But we must be Nigerian.
So we agree. It's an opinion poll. I mean, you've highlighted your opinion. I don't know if we have a call on the line.
I think we lost that call. Yes.
Okay.
So but it's just an opinion. We lost it due to this extensive analysis.
But with the issue of having moles in your security architecture, it's a usual occurrence across security architectures across the board. What we need to do, and which is where I started the point from, where you lose quality because you have to take them out early, you also lose the ability to build the next generation of quality. So when you now start to, because some of these things are, those who are experts in security will tell you, in reviewing how you recruit people, there are things that you
just hold your thoughts for a second. Let's take this call from Victor from Benin. Hello, Victor. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, go ahead and make your submission, please.
Yes, I actually submit to the idea of your guest in the studio over there. I think he's trying to buttress the point of a competency. But actually, let's look at the fabrics of our nation. There's definitely an ethnic sentiment. At least, I guess that's why we have a federal character commission. I think that was the reason behind establish such commission. I don't know, maybe federal character or something that has to do with what's it called, quota of our nation, unemployment, even down to admission. There's quota based on ethnicity. So I don't know why appointment of political appointment or agency appointment has to be left out. But I understand your point on competency, but we can also have some other ethnic groups who are competent as well, who can do the job. Just to allay the fears of the people against the president, of being biased somewhat in a case, because it's peculiar to our nation. We can't have this diverse ethnicity and say we just throw away the idea of ethnicity away just like that. It's not possible. There's diversity in our ethnicity, and that goes to our fabric, even to our homes. So you understand. So I understand your point quite well, but this is Nigeria. This is Nigeria, and ethnic play parts in it. Thank you very much.
And which is the same, which is the same thing I'm saying. There are so many competent people all across diverse ethnicity, which is where I'm going back to. And that's why I was asking you, when you talk about Wazobia,
it's bigger than that.
It's bigger than that. It's much bigger than that. And I like what Victor said.
It's the same thing we've been saying here. I think it just re-echoed the same thing, even when we started the show as well. Appointments are key, but of course, this is what Nigerians are saying. And certain times, we have to look at the reactions of our actions. If it really is something that has gone down well or hasn't gone down well, or you can just choose to ignore.
Yeah.
But let's bear in mind, I think for me, the key point, my opinion here, I don't like adding my opinion on the front pages, but my opinion here is...
you have to have it, that's why
my opinion here is, should Nigeria have the next president who comes from the South, and he chooses to follow the same route, let's hope that Nigerians will not complain. Because
or maybe
I always say
we need to step up the legal instruments
I always say this.
And enforce federal character in appointments.
But it's there. Benga, who better hold on to federal character?
No,
is it not the federal government?
Works. Constitutionally, there are requirements. States, you look at the ministers. Every minister has to produce a state. But I don't think it works for appointments for DGs of agencies and MDAs, and that's why we see a slant.
But I like how the caller just broke it down.
Exactly.
And like I'm saying, I always use the word precedents.
Precedents.
Let's not forget. Nobody has some people would not have any issue with it. But the moment you have a different person on that seat and he decides to toe the same line, we hope that people will not complain. Why are you doing that?
But we will complain.
So let's move to our next story.
You just hope the next person will be a bigger person. Quickly, I want to take Uade's perspective on this. Senate probes withdrawal of troops before Kebbi abduction. I mean, the Senate had yesterday's plenary was a very huge.
Was loaded.
Was loaded. They had so many issues to talk about and different considerations. Now, the Senate is considering reviewing firearms law to allow citizens bring their own to own their guns. Senator Asukwo of Cross River State, quite a young senator, was the one that proposed this. And if you recall, last year also, Senator Ned Munir Nwoko also proposed this. So do we have the temperament or the maturity to handle guns? Because guns kill.
In the name of self-defense. The way I'm looking at you, I'm wondering what do I want to say.
Yes, I can read your mind.
In more advanced countries, let me start by saying this. I was somewhere else today and they mentioned this, and the first thing I said that we have BVN and we have NIN.
Do the bandits have BVN and NIN?
That's what it brings me to answering your question. Do we even have the data of those who we call responsible? So once you start from there, then you can imagine the kind of chaos and anarchy that you want to create in a chaotic and anarchistic, I don't know the word, anarchistic system.
Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild West.
Who draws the weapon first?
Exactly. Billy the Kid or... Anyway.
Imagine me arguing with you on set and I'm not happy with your analysis. I'll just do this.
What did you say? Can you see this?
But the truth remains is we don't have systems to manage them. There's already a high proliferation of small arms across Nigeria that we don't even know where they are, who owns them, and all. And so when you propose that, then it means that if you just cross me on the road, I can vex and just pull out my gun.
And then I think the mistake the Senate is making is they're looking at it from a protect myself point of view for the urban dwellers.
Rather than look
these
at
attacks are happening in rural areas. You think guns are cheap? Guns are not cheap. Do you know how much?
Let's even not talk about the cost of guns. Even guns that are in black market, they are not cheap. You know, someone spoke about mercenaries and bringing mercenaries. That's a story for another day. But the truth remains this, and this is my final point on this. The truth for me remains this. We don't have a system to manage it. You don't want to create more chaos in an already chaotic situation. And then lastly, when you propose these things, why not propose funding to build your security architecture? Like you said, those that have left the system, why not help the system, or let them help the system to create security architectures within all those places?
Okay, maybe individual arms is taking it too far. You look at Uganda, for example, private security men carry weapons. So maybe the security outfits, the licensed ones, can we start arming them?
That's why I said, when you take so many people out of the system and you say, let's create consultants and all, how do you use that to support your security architecture? And those are the things we need to start thinking about, forward-thinking things. Because at the end of the day, there's so many people who can handle guns who will not join your armed forces. But who, in times of war, you can bring them into the system and they are already trained to help your security architecture.
And also,
improve.
Joe, why guns? Is that the only weapon you can use?
I've just been watching.
Katana swords, bow and arrows.
Bows and arrows.
No, but the senator said you can't bring a knife to a gunfight. That it's not balanced.
And that
depends on how you.
So it depends on how you.
If you're a ninja,
but even ninjas, from afar,
ninja they run. Get that they go still run. You go here.
When three ninja come and you fire the first one, we hold katana.
But then again, it's a serious conversation. And since the Senate is looking into it, I'm sure at the end of the day, they will look at it from different angles. And of course, each person will go to their constituency and of course get the feeders from their constituents. I'm sure by the time they get it aggregated together, I don't think it will be a go area. It won't. But just to mention too,
like Benga said earlier, how do we bring those who understand security, whether as consultants or as partners or as collaborators, into a system that will help
BVN and NIN are just numbers. How do you know the temperament of this individual?
Exactly.
Does the NIN say responsible citizen?
Let's even say that we have data of all Nigerians from the NIN. Are you with me? That's first base. Then the second base is now psychological. Like you said, the mentality.
Know your customer, know your citizen.
Then you now start knowing your citizen. KYC.
But then again, like you said, that's a big conversation that we looked at. Let's look at this story. Tinubu's administration expanding banditry economy, according to ADC. ADC is throwing that one in. Under Tinubu, terrorist bandits have become alternative government. Atiku too joined in his voice. Don't forget, Atiku has now joined the ADC. So in as much as the headers are separated, they're all speaking the same language now. AFDB okays $500 million loan for Nigeria's energy transition program. Guinea-Bissau. I don't know if yesterday was Guinea-Bissau.
Very interesting.
Rocked by coup d'etat suspension of electoral process. That's another one, but I don't want us to dwell on that.
I'm expecting ECOWAS to suspend them today and the African Union for truncating democracy.
Yeah.
And West Africa is really getting this toga of, cool belt. And it seems like we're back to the 70s and 80s.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the big one. EFCC writes, Silva writes EFCC requests dates to appear before investigators. A lot of stories there.
Where is
but,
he writing from?
Wherever he writes from, he wants
But
to.
anyway,
meet with them.
our time is well spent. I must say, we've wrapped things up. But then again,
And
the president.
one last one. Police withdraw from VIPs. Our lives in danger.
Yes, that's the last story. What do you
Are
think?
you not a VIP?
I know you're a big man. You have your security detail.
No, God is my security.
Okay,
and I don't
God.
have tinted glasses.
Okay.
but what do you? Wouldn't
have
that
1
leave a
minute.
gap for our politically exposed persons? Because they seem to be. I saw a circular this morning on.
Oh yes,
No.
they're pushing. They're
Yeah.
pushing against it.
There's
They
a
are
new circular.
implement- yeah, they-
There's a
they
new
seem
one.
to be
There
serious
is
about
Did you hear what I said?
implementation.
No, did you hear what I said?
Yes.
There's a new one. Almost every administration has passed this.
But this time they are serious, and that's why
Wait till
that's why the lawmakers are
we've done
raising
analysis on News
alarm.
Central. We
We
have the
wait.
detailed year
We
and the
will
police
wait.
IG.
We will
Okay,
wait
if this
for
is implemented to the letter,
implementation.
what happens to our VIPs? They're very important.
That's why, like I said, expanding our security architecture to private security who can manage
Ebuboya
and
go.
defend them. It first and foremost gives the Nigerian security system to defend Nigerians first and foremost. While you pay, if you want personal security, security and protective.
But some of these policemen, these private security guys have
You can
handled
also
their family
go
well.
traditional.
They've paid their school fees, taking care of their
You
families.
can hire a hunter and give him early warning
Whether he's
device.
hunter or-
He can weigh a tortoise.
Yeah.
If he senses danger, the tortoise will turn left.
Whether it's hunters or security,
Or
private
tortoise.
security or tortoise or ram horn. But the fact remains is we must build a security system that lets the Nigerian police look after Nigerians and let those who want additional security, protective security, to pay for it if they can afford it.
Uade, we have to go.
Thank you, we
Our
have to
producer
go.
is threatening us that the anchors will have to produce the rest of the show if we don't leave now. Shout out to Kunle, I hear you. Okay, and this brings today's Breakfast Central to an end. Uade, always a pleasure.
Always a
speaking
pleasure
with
being
you.
here.
And I have a shout out today. Big shout out to Joseph Idong and of course Sergey Ibrahim. They've done a great job covering the
National
red and the
Assembly.
green chamber. Thanks guys for watching. See you guys.
And also, Olive, we
big
miss
shout out
you.
to Amazing as well. Yes.
Yes.
You can cut us off. We'll
It would have
continue.
been nice to get Olive's analysis as a former man of war or woman.